Hey everybody, welcome to Heart with Dan and Angela.
Hi, guys.
And today we want to talk about what is the truth. You know, we were told, Angela was told, I was told I had the truth. And Angela was told in her religion, Worldwide Church of God, we have the truth. You know, the Christian says, we have the truth.
Yeah.
The Muslim says, we have the truth.
Yeah.
You know, all these people here, all of these religions say they have the truth.
Yeah.
So the question is, what is the truth? You know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says the truth will set you free. But what the heck is the truth? When we came in here, we believed it was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then when we popped out, we said, oh my God, I've been deceived. It wasn't true.
Yeah,
But
same with my church.
the same thing.
Yeah.
So we want to show you something really interesting. I'm going to tell you something right here. Just walk with me real slow through this because I think this truth will set you free. And the reason it'll set you free, this chart right here took me over 22 years. I had to live this out experientially, meaning I had to live in this house for a while. I had to live in this house for a while. I visited some of these houses. I had to experience all this stuff. And then I came to this conclusion. So I want to share my conclusion with you and see what you think, see what you guys think about it. But I want to talk about this. How did we get this as truth? How does the Christian get his truth? How does the Muslim get it? The Buddha, the Islam, the Kabbalah, the whatever, right?
Judaism, whatever.
The
Worldwide.
Mormons, whatever. How do they come to their truth? Okay, let me show you what I discovered. Okay, right here, we were born, right? We were born, and when we were born, we were put on play, like a recorder, like autoplay. It's called autoplay, and we became a receiver. So when we were born, the receiver came on, all our senses came on, and what we saw and what we experienced from our father, like my father said, it's time for the meeting. God is Jehovah, spanked us, took us to meetings, and we became what we called, Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, here's the interesting thing. This here I have here is a recorder, right? This is my recorder. It's on. The minute I'm born, this recorder comes on. That's why the little blue light. So it's on play continually. So all I know...
And recording continually.
Yes. So all I know up till this point is what I've been exposed to. So if I've only been exposed to this is my truth, right? It's a small world. I didn't know that at the time. I thought this was the whole world. This is my world over here. And what's in here is all kinds of little dots. Those are religions, and they all claim that they're the truth. Every one of them say, we're the truth, right? And so my world, whether I knew it or not, there was a whole world out here. But this became my world because that's what I was exposed to. I was exposed to this as absolute truth. The Christian is exposed to this as absolute truth. A person maybe is born into a religion. Their recorder's on. They hear Jesus is God, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is the Savior, Jesus, And so they become that religion. The Muslim comes in and it's Allah, Allah's the, one and only God, and he's the true God. So based on where you were born in the world, you would probably be one of these, okay? Now here's something really crucial. This is really, really crucial. Just listen to this. If a Jehovah's Witness, a million of them, let's take 1 million Jehovah's Witnesses and hook them up to a lie detector. This is my lie detector. And you hook the witness up to the lie detector and you ask him, is God's name Jehovah? Is this the true religion? Blah, blah, blah. It would test as true. It would test 100% absolutely true for probably all 1 million of them.
Unless that Jehovah's Witness was lying and he knew it, then it wouldn't work, right? But if he believes it to be true and he feels that he's telling the truth, then it's going to test as true.
That's right. The meter would go, he's not lying. He believes it. I saw it in the Bible. God's name's Jehovah. He took out a people for his namesake. All that stuff we learned, right? And so, but the Christian now, the same thing would happen. If you brought him over and you said, let's take 1 million of them and hook them up to a lie detector, it would resonate as true.
Well, for each one of them.
For each one of them. Mm-hmm. So it would say they're not lying. They believe Jesus is Lord, Jesus is God, Jesus is going to save the world, whatever it is, right? So they would test as true. The Muslim would test as true. If you took 1 million Muslims and brought them in and put them on lie detectors, right? It would test as they're telling the truth, right? They're not lying. They believe what they believe. So if you did that to all these people in the world, and you took them and you put them on lie detectors, it would say they're telling the truth. But obviously they're not, because none of them get along, right? The Jehovah's Witnesses say any day that all these will be gone. This is the world empire of false religion. The Christian says all these will be gone. They're the only ones that are going to stand. The Muslims, everyone else has got to go, right? And so what's interesting, so the question is, what the heck is truth? And how could we be any better than what our recording is? If I grew up here, this is what I would probably be. I would probably be a Muslim. If I grew up in India or somewhere over there, Tibet, I would probably be a Buddhist, right? Depending on where I grew up in the world, I would be one of these things. So what I've come to the conclusion was, since all religion, right here, all religion have tested truth, then what the heck is truth? What is truth? Well, the truth is, you make your own truth. You make your own truth. You decide. When I came out of Jehovah's Witnesses, right? When I popped out of there and said, man, these guys are lying. Man, these guys are false prophets. Man, these guys are making up. Man, these guys have got a lot of money. Man, these guys are buying buildings, and oh my God, it blew my mind, right? So all of a sudden, when I popped out of there, when I popped out, I went, oh my God, I was in a box. And then I looked and saw all the other boxes people that are saying they're in, right? And so the question is, because of my upbringing, because of my parents, because of this, knowing only this, that's what I thought the whole world should be. I thought everyone should be like me, and everyone should, soon get off the earth so we can be the only ones who live. But it's the same for all of them, So we create our own truth. And the truth of it is, when I was a witness, I can say my parents got me involved, and I did this, but now I get to choose. Now I should be able to do my due diligence and check them all out if I want, right? A lot of people say, no, don't go past here. Don't go past Christian, that you've gone too far. No, don't go out of here, right? These people, these people who run these organizations are men. They're men. This isn't what God said. God said you could experiment. God said I could go on my prodigal journey. He said I could learn maybe about a couple of these. Let's see what they're about. Why not? What am I afraid of, right? Truth can stand on its own. I don't have to be afraid to go out here and evaluate, right? The only reason these places like this say don't go anywhere is they're afraid. You might find out there's something better.
You're told that you should be afraid.
Right.
You have plays that tell you that you better be afraid, or these horrible bad things are going to happen to you. So it's absolutely not going to be any other way.
That's right.
You believe that to be true, so you will not explore for
Yes.
fear of your life, or becoming an apostate or whatever, being kicked out, just for checking out another one.
Right. And the other thing is, these people all tell you that it's strange, but it's a strange thing that most religions say that the other person's got to go. I mean, in Christianity, there's over 200 different sects. In Christianity, maybe more than that. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of religions out there, right? And so each one of them, I feel like these two are probably, I hate to say it, but I don't like the idea, I've always said having the gun to your head, but it's like, why do these religions have to threaten you? Why do they have to threaten you and shun you when you leave? Why do they look at you strange? It's because of this. It's because that's all they know. They've been told from this little recording they've been told everything is bad. Everything's got to go. But here's the thing I realized. Here's the thing I come to realize. When I was in here, these people were doing just fine. These people were doing just fine. Well, what are these people doing? They're up in the mountains meditating. They're in Tibet. They're meditating. They're getting up, having tea. They're sitting in the silence. They got to go, right? They got to go. They got to go, they say. They got to go. And so that's interesting, isn't it? But all of them by themselves are doing okay. So here's the question. What would happen if all of this went away? Who are you besides your religious programming? You got to think about that. Who are you beyond your religious program? I'll tell you who you are. You and me and everyone else out there, every man, woman, and child are made in the image and likeness of God. These are all boxes. To claim that is to limit the Father in you. It's to limit it. You and me are God's stuff. We're made in the image and likeness of God. Jesus said, "These and greater you'll do," right? And so when I came in here, my world got real small, didn't it? It got real small. I said, we're the only ones, and we had a tunnel vision, right? But all these are tunnel vision. Every one of them are tunnel vision. Every one of them are special. Everyone say they're unique. The other thing that these things do is they divide us all. These divide us all. These say everyone's got to go. Everyone's got to go. Everyone's got to go. That is not the way it is. Jesus said everyone's going to stay, right? Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, when they were piercing Jesus through, he said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing," right? And he didn't say he was a religion. Jesus was not a religion.
No.
God is not a religion. And this whole thing that everyone's claiming, I'm a religion. I would think this. When people were done with the Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't think they'd ever call themselves a religion again. I mean, why would you put yourself in another box?
And the truth is, me and Dan went out trying to become
We
something
did.
else.
22 years, me and Angela.
Well, maybe not quite that long, but we really, really thought we would find it each and every time, as we've shared with you before. And we didn't. We just discovered that, oh my gosh, there's a similar box like what we got out of. And that one too, and that one too. And we kept going, and book after book, and you name all these different religions and faiths and sects of space and all that. And every one of them think they have the corner on the truth. Some of them are cults, and they really shun you if you leave. Some really not so much, but they just don't really want you in their church. Just get out of here. They're not going to shun you, but they just really don't want you in there. That's not really a cult. But, still we realized these guys are in a box. And we didn't want to be in another box. But they're all doing the best they can.
Right.
But at the same token, I think it's high time we quit saying, I can't love you because you are right?
Yeah.
That's high time that goes bye-bye.
That's the thing. I mean, I didn't really know anybody in the world. I was a freak. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I was a freak. I was like, who are these weird people out there? I'd go to the door and this rich person would open the door and I'd go, who are these people? Jehovah, you're gonna destroy these people any day. Oh my God! You imagine that mindset for 40 years. I'm gonna have that house when they're gone. We could move into this. This is a nice house. How dorky, how stupid. You know what I mean? And so I just think, once it's interesting, but once you pop out of here, it's like, holy crap, you can see all the boxes. I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this. You can see all the programs. These are just programs right here. These are programs. All these are programs. We're more than the programs. We are more than the programs. We're not a program. We're the hard drive. We are the hard drive, not the program, right?
So that means we can dump files?
Yeah, we can defrag files, we can exit files, just like Angela when she was working on the computer a little while. She was trying to get the little thing out of there. Flash drive out.
Not cooperating.
We can do that. These are flash drives. That's all they are. They're little flash drives. Or left brain, it's like I always say, the left brain takes in information, and thinks it knows everything. Well, I thought I knew everything as a Jehovah's Witness. I don't know everything now. But what I do know is this, and I've experienced this, and I know that all of these people are clamoring for truth, and it's sad because it's just recordings. It's just a recording based on where they lived, what they were taught, and it's a limitation. And I think, like Angela said, it's high time that we stop dividing. We stop wishing, other people would go away, It's interesting. We were talking to a lady the other day on the trail. I'm going to keep it short. But we were talking to a lady on the trail and came up and had, we were having coffee out on our deck. And we got talking about some of this stuff, And I said, did God know it was going to fall? And if God is Almighty God, then he would have known this creation was going to fall. And you could see him getting real uncomfortable and, and all this stuff. And anyway, long story short, I said, well, that's pretty weird, isn't it, to think God created this thing, all-knowing God, and he knew it was going to fall, and then, Jesus was going to come in and, kill everybody in the end. And then I got to this part about this is the one thing I said. Angela was there, but I said, why does God keep making these people if he's going to kill them, right? According to here, these people got to go and these got to go, right? And so I said, if God is the one knitting everybody together in the womb, all these people, God's knitting them together, I said, then why would he just like want to kill everybody? You know, Jesus with a big sword. You remember Revelation? You know, Jesus is coming in with white gowns that are going to be full of blood and all that kind of stuff. I said, that kind of seems kind of crazy. It kind of seems like, wow, God, you know, God's got some screws loose,
because
you know?
the Bible does say that God formed us in our mother's womb, and he knew everything about us that there is to know. And every time we lay down, every time we get up, when we go out of our house, we go to work, he knows everything about us, every thought we think, all known by God.
So what he made was good, too.
And what he made was good and very good. And that includes every single solitary person on the face of the earth. So what in the world is going on here that God would keep creating a whole bunch of, like Dan said, Buddhists or, you know, whatever, Hindus, whatever. Why?
Yeah.
Why? It's like
And
he
how are
knows
they
that they're
hurting
gonna
anybody,
be born that way, and obviously their programming is gonna be that they believe that way. And so that doesn't make sense that God would make something that he intends to destroy. That's not logical.
No, so, yes.
God is love, right? Not a killer.
That's right.
So where's this confusion? Where's it coming from? Why is it? Something's wrong.
Yeah, so there was a conundrum there with him, with the guy, because the guy goes, we don't know the mind of God. And I said, yeah, he's a psychopath if he's like that, right? I did. I did. I said, that's crazy. And he goes, you don't know the mind of God. Well, you know, pretty soon they're all going to be gone. You know, and the wife goes, what would we believe if we didn't believe that? Oh my God. Think about that. What would we believe if God wasn't just going to genocide everybody? You remember Revelation, you know, the sword, you know, coming in. I mean, I hate to do it like this, but, you know, Jesus is coming in happier than hell. And it said the great day. I mean, they were applauding at the assembly, the Jehovah's Witness assembly. Jesus is coming with knives and, you know, machetes, and the angels are coming in with him, you know, and it's the great day, the great wonderful day where the angels are going to show that they're so much more powerful than men. And we're going to show you that, you know, Jesus has become highly exalted. It was Jehovah in our religion. But, you know, when I said that, the lady said, what the hell would I believe if I didn't believe that?
Yeah, and she had this look on her face, kind of like shock, like her eyeballs were coming out of her face. You know what I mean? Like you're making my head split and my head explode, because I don't want to think that way. Because if I did, I won't know who I am. It's literally like I am my religion, instead of that. That is not who we are. We're not our religion, but people think they're their religion. And she just looked at me like that. That's horrible to even think of.
And started running, basically.
Yeah, that like Dan was told by his mentor, who really helped him years and years ago. But she says, Dan, who would you be without your Jehovah's Witness Bible? Where would you be?
Yeah, if there was no watchtower, if there's no Bible, would you even know God? No, not as a witness.
And without that Bible, and if they told you to wear brown, would you? You know, and he's like, well, no, well, yeah, you know, I don't know, so many questions, you know, we start questioning these things and we start kind of freaking out, right? But we're not our program. We are not our bodies. We are not our religions. We're not that.
We're not. We're made in the image and likeness of God. And, you know, these people will fight to the death. I mean, they'll fight to the death.
I'm not my programming,
to
Dan.
save, huh?
I'm not my programming.
Yeah. These people will fight to the death over their programming. By God, God's name's Jehovah. You know, they put on their little recorder, right? And Watchtower reminds them, right? God's name's Jehovah, and he's angry.
In my religion, you better be keeping the Sabbath day and the holy days. And if you don't, you eat that
you're
unclean
dead,
food,
you're
you
dead.
eat that pork, you're dead. You're going to be in the lake of fire. It's like, you know what? Who is this genocide God in every religion? I'm telling you, it's every religion, it seems to me.
Yeah, it is. So what is the truth that sets you free? That you're bigger than all this. That
Absolutely.
You're not just this. Because this whole thing is a program, right? Like I said, this guy's true, this guy's true, this guy's true, this guy's true.
So,
this doesn't mean anything.
No,
this just means that you create your own reality. You create your own truth. And Jesus said it this way, it is done unto you as you believe.
That's right.
If you want to be a witness, go study with the witnesses, and it will be done unto you as you believe. You want to be a Christian, go in and give your life.
Christian.
Be a Christian, and it'll be done unto you as you
want to
believe.
be a Jew? Go ahead and study the Judaism and be a Jew. You want to be a Kabbalist?
Yeah.
Then study that.
And here's the thing.
But you're not still that, though. But
Right. And I want to say this. And you get to choose. You get to choose. I get to choose. Jesus said, my Father's like this. The boy had 2 sons. One went away. He got to choose. Daddy, I'm going to take a turn here. I'm going to take a turn. I'm getting out of here. I'm going over to here. Muslim.
It's almost like he said, I got to sow my oats, Dad. Will you let me?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah.
And the father goes,
Go.
God bless you. I'll see you when you come home.
Not like the Jehovah's Witnesses said, where she should have never left.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. He was glad, very, very happy to do it.
Absolutely.
And then when he came back, everything was all put back together like it never happened.
Yes.
Wow. I got a question for you guys. Just think about this. I mean, if this bothers you a whole lot, then let me ask you this. Put your head in there a little bit, Dan. Who's Dan Clark? Okay, so you guys know that he's not any religion anymore. He's not any one religion. So who is he? And is he just as good without his religion? Without all that programming? Do you like him just as well? Is he not the wonderful guy that God made? Do we not all adore this man? I'm sure he's very uncomfortable. No, just hear me out. We love you, Dan, because you're special and you're unique, because you're a unique aspect of Almighty God. You are the unique aspect. And so we love that about you. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind it that Dan doesn't have a specific religion.
She's partial.
Of course I am, but you know what, you guys, I'm just trying to make an example here. You come on this here because you think Dan's pretty fun, and he's real, and he's honest, and he's integral, and he tries really hard, and all that he does, he puts his all into it. I mean, this is the kind of thing that God has created. I love this. And we all love this. And so why do we have to be a religion? It's like, look, you're not your education either. You're not everything that you think you are. Let's see, I'm my career, I'm my money, I'm my home, I'm my status, I'm my car, I'm my, we're not that either. We're not these programs. Then who are we? So I'm trying to point out, this is the wonderful kind of thing that God has made. It's kind of simple, really. It's all about love and care and concern. And do we not see Dan loving us, caring for us, trying to help us to rise up, to try to be the best that we can be more, to do more, to have more that we know that we should have, to make us a whole person. Dan is all about all of that. And this is all he is. He's that. He's this beautiful specimen of a human being without religion. Do you even know really what he does for a living? I bet most of you don't. See, that doesn't matter either, does it? Do you care? Do you really know how much money that he has? Do you even care? Do you see what I mean? We're not that. And I just want to point that out. We're not a religion. We're not our status. We're not any of those things. We're not that. So then I want to ask you, who are you then? Who are you? Who am I? Who do you think that I am? Again, you don't know what religion I am, but you still love me. You don't know anything about me. For the most part, you don't, except for that I work with Dan on these videos. But you love me. And without all that stuff you don't know about me, you love me. So see, you're that too. You're just as wonderful. And I don't know all that about you, but I bet if I talked to you for a minute, I'd know that, you have some incredibly precious and wonderful traits that are unique to everyone else. And I would think it's pretty cool. And, I always see behind the person anyway. I see behind their weaknesses. I could see the person, who behind who they are when they're maybe acting out one day because for whatever reason they're in a bad mood. I can see behind it. And everyone is precious. Everyone. So anyway, this is interesting to me.
And should you stay here, that's okay.
Should I stay or should I go now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But if you decide to be a witness, be a witness. If you decide to be a Christian, be a Christian. If you decide, do you know this is what America was founded on? America wasn't founded on Christianity.
No.
America was founded on in God we trust, and as God as you know God. Right? One nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice and freedom of religion for everybody. You're free to worship as you will. And it's only man who's come in here and talked about genocide. I know you say that's in the Bible, and you know.
But Constantine did that too. Yeah, lots
right.
of people.
So anyway, I just want you to know this too. In all honesty, when I got unplugged here, and Angela got unplugged here, we tried to plug in real fast to here, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We said, man, we got to get another religion, man. We were like, man, there's nothing here, right? When you leave here, like, oh my God, I got to get the truth somewhere. So we went here and here and here and here and all over, like I said, 22 years. And then we realized, God, it's just a lot of boxes. Why can't I love everybody? As we started to travel, we started to see all kinds of beautiful people all over the world, spiritual people, religions I've never even heard of.
Yes.
You know, buying me a coffee and, you know, and talking kindly and very loving and hugging. And I thought, my God, could you imagine if all of this creepy stuff was out of here about everybody had to go, how beautiful the world would be? Sometimes I'm wondering if just this is the problem, you know, this whole infrastructure here. Because, you know, this is all man-made. A lot of this stuff is all man-made. A lot of this stuff, you know, they say is you know, the Bible is written by the hand of God. And, you know, and all of this stuff, everybody has all this interpretation of Scripture. I mean, think about it. You know, do these people like the Mormons? Do these people like the Seventh-day Adventists?
That's the Christian box.
Yeah, the Christian box. Do they like Seventh-day Adventists? Do they like
Judaism, Jews?
Yeah, no, it's only them. And I just think, man, if that could be gone, if that, not gone in the sense of, you know, that judgment toward other people,
part, yeah.
the hate toward other people. I tell you, I see the hate. I don't like it. When I got out of here, when I visited here for a few years, I said, man, there's a lot of hate in there. Man, there's a lot of judgment. Same thing. You're welcomed if you get on board with their ideals and you come into the group think and everybody says the same. Man, you're welcome. High fives, you know. But man, if you don't you can't get out of there fast enough. I mean, they'll tell you to get out.
That's an age-old problem, this is, you know.
Yes,
Dan.
it is.
You know, I wanted to point out, too, just that in the Bible, you know, there's this whole situation happened where Peter and James and all those, it's really struggling with this whole changeover that once Jesus died, and they're trying to bring it on board that God has made it clear by what happened with Peter, with that sheet that came down, and then being told that represents that you don't be picky with people and say that since you don't eat like I do, you're not one of me, and I can't go with you, and I can't eat with you, and I can't hang out with you, and I can't sleep in your house, and all that the Jews had to do, that was thrown out, and God made it really clear with what happened with that sheet that came down in his kind of a time just before lunch. So he was told to go with the people at the door, and ends up that it's a man who was not a Jew, and he ended up eating with them, baptizing them. Whatever they ate was not prepared properly, and all of that. And then he was clear. God just showed me, do not call uncommon or dirty or unclean that what I call clean. And God made it clear that man you're going to go see. He told me you are to go with that man, and so you go. And so he did. And then when he got back, then he saw how the people were. Paul notices. Now that's another guy. He was the one who tried to kill Christians, but he finally came on board. And then he saw how they were trying to separate again after Jesus died, because they said, no, we're all to be not judging one another. We're not asking you to become a Christian or a Jew or whatever. We're not asking any of that. We're not to divide. And so they saw them trying to do that. And Paul's like, no, guys. We're not to do this. Otherwise, Christ died in vain. And so we're not to separate, and which meant you got to eat with the Gentiles who eat not like us. They don't even have the same beliefs. They don't circumcise. They don't do all these things that we do, but we're not to judge them. And so he made it really crystal clear that this should not go on anymore. And guess what, guys? Here we are again. I mean, I should say it's always gone on, right? It just, we haven't gotten a handle on this, but they tried to in the Bible. They really, really did. But it's just become this huge thing in our country of all these choices. In other countries, there are not all these choices. We have a lot of choices here, but it's causing a lot of division, which Paul tried to really, really help the early church to realize this can't go on, guys. And we're all the same and loved under God. And regardless of the religion, they didn't tell them you got to become like Jews now. You got to keep the holy days now, and you can't eat unclean foods, and you can't, you have to do the Sabbath day holy. But no, they didn't require any of that. Not to judge any man according to Sabbaths, new moons, holy days, clean and unclean foods, drink, nothing. Just
Jesus
some
said, I
simple
didn't come
rules.
to judge.
Right.
You know,
So,
he tells the lady at the well, turn around, just go the other way.
Right.
He he was like the prodigal son.
Right. And she was also a Samaritan, which the Jews had nothing to do with. And the disciples came back and said, what are you doing? Talking to this woman. Oh my gosh. We don't talk to women, first of all. And secondly, she's a Samaritan. Oh my God. You know, and he's like, oh, brother, you guys. And so he really tried hard to get it turned around too. But, we haven't really caught on very well. We need to, though. So.
Yeah. So the truth of it is, this is interesting, okay? This guy over here eats and drinks, from the earth, just like every one of them, right? They all drink the same water,
Oh, yeah.
right? They all eat the food that the ground produces. They all sit under the same sun. They all do the same oxygen, and they're all programmed. Every one of them's programmed to believing like they did. And that's where the grace comes in, honestly. Like I said, how could they not be any other way? How could I have not been a Jehovah's Witness? That's what I grew up in, right? That's what I was. Angela Worldwide Church of God. How could she be anything different, Now, these religions up here, there's thousands and thousands of them, like here, like the little dots. There's thousands and thousands of them, right? And I think when I stepped out of here and I kind of spent a lot of time searching this out, I realized I didn't really have to join a program. I didn't have to be anybody else's program. I could just love, right? The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. As yourself. It doesn't matter the religion. And don't wish them dead, right?
And just like GG for GB or whatever that is, he says is that, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
He's always saying
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. This is just logic and reason, and it's a 20-year exploration. But I did search these out. I did spend time in these places. I did go inside. I wanted to see. I turned over those rocks. And then I realized they're just belief systems. They don't have a whole lot to do with love. And Jesus said, you'll know them by their fruit. He said, by their fruit, you'll know them. If they have love and kindness and goodness. And I have to say, I hadn't seen a lot in couple of these. I've seen a lot of judgment, a lot of nasty faces and scowls and I've been rejected, basically by my own family. I thought the witnesses were the end of the judgment. Boy, was I surprised. Worldwide Church of God, Seventh-day Adventist. Woo!
Seventh-day Adventist, yeah.
Woo, we want him gone. Get him out of here. Get Dan out of here.
And others.
Others. So, anyway, guys, we just wanted to share this with you. Think about it. I know a lot of people reject it. How dare him talk against my programming, because that's what I'm doing, right? The program says, warning, warning, warning. He don't believe in Jesus. I do believe in Jesus. I do believe he walked to work. I do believe he performed miracles. I do believe he had a message for us about connecting with God and coming into union.
And then he heard straight from the Father and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
We absolutely do believe.
Yeah.
But how come I can't just love you because you're a Mormon? Or because
or
you're a Jew, or a Hindu, or a Muslim, or a Buddhist. Why can't I just have a nice meal with you and enjoy what you do for a living, enjoy what you created, enjoy your lovely home that we're eating in, and what you're all about, and what you like, and where you like to visit, where you've gone on vacation, how you live. How come I can't enjoy that? Why do I have to have so much fear around the fact that they're different than me? I don't know why.
Right. That's exactly right. And so, that's where we're at now. I can go somewhere and take a vacation and see a group of monks out there, and I'll say, hey, can I get a picture with you guys?
Or can we talk to you?
Yeah, what do you guys believe? What are you guys into? Well, we do this and we do that, and we meditate and we get still and we hear God. I say, oh, that's really interesting. Wow, I'll have to try that, or whatever. I'm here to explore. We were told by God we could explore. The Christians say Jesus is God, right? Jesus said, explore, do your prodigal journey. Quit being judges. We got to quit being judges. This is what we were here. We were witnesses. We were judges. You're dead. You didn't take Jehovah's literature. And so anyway, guys, we just wanted to share that with you today. Think about it. Just think about it. Look back at this. Take a look back at this. This whole lie detector thing and all this truth, and yet it's not truth. It's not the whole truth, right? It's the truth at the time, right? This was truth at the time. Believe me, this was truth at the time. Jehovah's Witnesses was the truth, but it's not truth anymore. It's a real estate company pretending to be a religion, right? And liars and hypocrites and, where was my head? Where was I? I thought it was absolute truth. Well, that whole infrastructure melted, right? Yeah. And it made room for some other things. So the other things were some of these, but I believe God is bigger than all religions. I don't believe he's nameable. I don't believe you can put a name on him and say, he's a Muslim, he's Allah, he's Krishna, he's, Jehovah, he's Jesus. He's not. It says God is a spirit. And Jesus said that spirit was love, right?
Yeah,
he did.
And even many believe that his name is I am. I don't know how Jehovah came about it. I mean, God told Moses to say, "I am sent me," and that's what he was to say. And I am that I am. And so what's going on here? I don't get it.
Jesus said, "You don't know my Father." He said, "Because you don't love." He said, "If you'd known me, you'd love me. You wouldn't be trying to kill me." And that's what I don't get about the religions. They're waiting for genocide. A lot of the religions are waiting for Jesus to come in and just get himself all bloodied up with the blood of all his enemies.
And you guys, in these war times, you've heard about it, how that at Christmas time, the Germans got together with the Americans and they just said, put their stuff aside, and they ate together and they laughed and they drank, and then the next day they're at it again. But they put aside their differences for one day, and they actually enjoyed one another and loved one another and knew that each other was the same. Even though they didn't speak the same language, they didn't maybe exactly look the same or even eat exactly the same, but they somehow sensed this oneness. Why is that? And why is it when I go on, I'm on the phone all the time, and I end up being on the phone with like people from all around the world. And you know something? They're special. And they're always saying, God bless you. It doesn't matter if they're from India or wherever. I mean, they're so kind. They're so gentle. They try so hard. And I'm like, I don't know. They're my brother too. They are my brother too. And they're serving me. And I sometimes am serving them, however it goes. But we're one. I'm sorry. We're one.
It's just a different variety. It's like flowers, right? There's a variety of flowers. And don't you love all the varieties?
I do.
Well, it's the same in these different religions. It's just a variety of different religions, of different ideals, of different places people grew up in, and different. I mean, if I look at something in India, I go, wow, that's strange. They're lighting fires and putting them on the water and, and doing all these special stuff and lighting things up in the air, and they light fire. I don't know. But anyway, I'm like, wow, it's just different. It's just different traditions, different ideals, and the more you see, the more. And like as Angela said, they're beautiful on the inside because God made them.
Yes,
God made them.
That's right.
Not to hate, to love as a variety, as a different plant, as a different type of being.
Yes. We were taught to fear that, but guys, we don't need to be afraid.
No.
We were taught to fear. That's our program. Push the button.
Hate them actually.
And we're taught to hate, fear, reject, have nothing to do with, don't listen to, don't learn their ways, on and on and on. We're told all of that, to fear, 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 fear. We don't need to keep listening to these bozos. They don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what they're doing.
You know what I wish one day God would do? What I really wish he would do? I wish he'd go like this. Supernaturally, I wish he'd do this. Just go like that and erase all that separates us. Do you know, would that be beautiful? If God took our specialness away and said, this brain you guys have, this, all you've done is killed each other with it, and hated each other, but I'm going to erase you, and then I'm going to have you look at that other man over there that's eating food like you, that speaks another language, and he calls God by another name. I'm going to erase all that separation.
How about if you just called this, America, India, we're Asia, China, and then just erase the whole religion thing. Just get rid of the religion altogether. It's just China, wherever.
Just
that's all.
People
We're all the same.
Enjoying life, eating the fruits of their labor, working hard,
working in the farm,
getting along. You know what I mean?
Sharing our goods with each other.
Those that don't do so good, they get disciplined. They get spanked. By the law, by the different things. It'd be so much simpler. You know what I mean? But it's just funny. The genociding innocent people, like we saw when we were at the door, to think that a young boy's going to be genocided because he's not my religion, that's got to go.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Okay,
guys, think about it. Let us know what you think. Be curious to know what you think.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next video, okay?
Yes.
All right.
You're loved.
You're loved. Okay.
Over and out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.